And today we are going to be talking about what rest can teach us about receiving. All right. So how do I start this off? And I do have my notes, but I'm trying to think of like the best way to start it. So I guess the best way to start this off is to let y'all know that rest is not a reward. And this is not gonna be one of those conversations where um I'm talking about if you're tired, take a nap, or, you've done XYZ rest. I'm not talking about physical rest. I'm talking about mental rest, or I should say, I'm not only talking about physical rest. I'm talking about mental rest. I'm talking about emotional rest. I'm talking about soul level rest. Um, because not only will the go, 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 go keep having you feeling tired, but if you're not taking time to allow yourself to move through things, that will keep you tired as well. And that'll have you worn out and cranky and frustrated and foggy constantly. Okay. And so this conversation is about rest being a portal or a pathway for you to receive the answers to your prayers, for you to receive clarity on the decision that you need to make so that you can really be empowered to make your next move your best move, all right? And so one of the things that I want to touch on is how we are constantly go, go, go. And I know that y'all heard this before, so I'm not gonna get into, at least my intention is not to get into a lot of that same rhetoric we hear about going, 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 superwoman syndrome, all of that. And yes, all of that is very real, is very valid. But what I want to talk about is how we do things with the intention of getting to the next step or breaking down a barrier, but we don't sit long enough to allow things to work. We don't sit with it long enough to allow the answers to come to us. Whether we're manifesting something, whether we are doing spell work or whatever, we'll put all those ingredients in a jar, or we'll, set up our altar space and get the candles ready and write the hell out of that petition. And then as soon as the candle finishes burning, we're like, okay, where is it? Where's my blessing? Where's my man? Where's my significant other? Where's my money? Where's this? Where's that? Not even realizing that sometimes one of the main barriers to us getting what it is that we want is because there's something that we need to deal with, right? And I'm not saying that miracles don't happen. What I'm talking about is being honest about where we are and what we need and what's going on with us. And I'm sorry my camera's doing this weird thing where it's constantly trying to focus. So sorry about that for those of you all who can see me. But that is what I'm talking about. When you are in a constant state of motion, when you are constantly doing things, when you are constantly trying to find ways to be productive, when you're constantly trying to make room for checking just one more thing off that to-do list, when you are constantly going, constantly wanting to accomplish something, get something done, move this out of the way, whatever the case may be, you are keeping your nervous system from being able to allow you to receive what it is that you're asking for. L'Oreal, that don't make sense. What the hell are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. When you're constantly go, 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 that puts your body in a rush state, that can activate your fight or flight, that can activate all or nothing in your state of mind, that activates pressure that we put on ourselves. And then we're stressed the hell out when we're trying so hard and we feel like we're doing everything that we possibly can in order to accomplish whatever it is that we want to accomplish, in order to call in whatever we want to call in, or release whatever it is that we're trying to release, not even thinking that what we've been doing up to this point could be the main reason why we don't have it. Not even really thinking about that. When you pray for something or you ask for something from the universe, from your creator, when you are, even journaling to get your feelings and stuff out, and you talk about how you feel and what you want instead, sometimes things come up. Things come up. Maybe some things that you thought that you were past that you had gotten over. Maybe some things come up and it feels random and unrelated. And so because of that, you just kind of shrug it to the side and move on to the next thing or go right back to asking for the same thing or go right back to writing about those same feelings. But you haven't given yourself time to notice the pattern. You haven't given yourself time to get really real about what the issue is. Because a lot of the time, the common denominator is you. A lot of the time, the issue is you. You're the problem. You're the source of the toxicity and foolishness and fuckery that's plaguing your life. And this is not for me fussing or trying to say that I'm perfect because in no way, shape, fashion, or form am I. But this comes from a whole lot of work. This comes from a whole lot of work and speaking from a place of experience. I still have a whole lot of life to live. But in the life that I have lived, I have been through a whole lot. I have been through a whole lot. And it can be really hard to admit when you are wrong, when you were not the person that was, in the right, when things really are not on your side. It can be really hard to admit that and sit with that. So, of course, we want to rush past that or avoid that or I'm not going to deal with that right now. No, 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 no. That can't be it. It must be this. It must be that. And so then we start busying ourselves more, doing other things, getting into other things that aren't even related to what it is that we're trying to fix or trying to work on or trying to call in or whatever. And all we're doing is making the waters even more muddy, making it harder than it ever needed to be in the first place. But the more you rest and the more you deal with your shit, the more you're able to hold, the more you're able to receive. A lot of the times, the reason why we're not getting the blessings and things that we ask for is because we don't have capacity to receive it. And I'm getting like I feel my eyes starting to water as I say that because that has been one of my biggest issues. And I'm still working through that. I've been doing really, really well, but I still have work to do in that. Like expanding my capacity, taking things off my plate, walking away from things that don't serve me, calling my power back, continuing to do things to nurture myself, continuing to build my sensual systems, right? To help me live the life that I want and create a life that I hopefully never need a vacation from. It takes time and it doesn't always feel good. That's the other thing. We always want to feel good and we want things to just be juicy and just wrap us up in this blanket of mm. We want to feel that all the time, but we can't. We can't. And that's not to say that we won't have more of that, but we have to really check our capacity for what it is that we're asking for. Because how many times have you gotten exactly what you wanted and then you realize that you didn't even want it? Or it came to you in a way that you weren't expecting? Or it came to you and you weren't ready for it and so you fucked it up? And you don't have to tell on yourself if you don't want to. I'm not here for that. But let's be real about it, right? So the more you rest, the more you can hold. The more you rest, the more you can hold. The more you rest, the more you can receive, whether that's physically, creatively, mentally, spiritually. All right? Because everybody has their own struggles and everybody's struggles aren't related to money. Everybody's struggles aren't related to love, right? So one thing that I want to share about resting, I recently took 3 months off work. I took 3 months off my job because I needed it. I needed to. I felt like I was on the verge of having some sort of a mental break. And I needed to get the hell out of there, right? And so I talked to my therapist, got the paperwork filled out. I was off work for the last quarter of 2024. And it was amazing. And in that time of being disconnected from that space, I was able to heal a lot of things that I put off because I was wearing myself so thin by pouring so much of myself into that damn job and into my team and into those people. I was constantly pouring, pouring, pouring. I was giving everybody else everything. I wasn't giving myself anything. And in those 3 months, I was able to have so many breakthroughs in therapy. I was able to have breakthroughs in my, personal relationships. I was able to have breakthroughs in my spiritual relationships, my friendships. I even started creating again. I started podcasting. I started posting regularly to Substack in November when I was taking that time off. And it was something that I had been wanting to do for at least a year before I even let myself start posting things. A year, y'all. Because I kept telling myself I didn't have time. I kept telling myself I would do it later. I need to do this first. Let me focus on this. Oh, I need this much money first. I need this many followers first. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then trying to monetize everything. Baby, listen. Listen. Everything does not need to be monetized. It is okay for you to keep some things for yourself, even if other people like it. Even if other people say, oh, you should sell this. Oh, you should offer this as a service. That doesn't mean you have to do it. At this point in my life, and in all the years that I have been trying to build what I consider to be a successful business, so that would be like what, 2015 is 2025 now, so 10 years of trying to get my business off the ground and keep it going, right? Not the starting and stopping and back and forth and off and on that's been going on. Listen, so much time wasted trying to do all of these things and not pouring into myself and staying in integrity with myself and what it is that I wanted so that I could allow myself to have the things that I was asking for. Sometimes you walk away from your blessings because you don't want to sit in any kind of discomfort. You don't want to sit in any kind of self-reflection. It's so much, it will always be easier to blame other people for your bullshit. It will always be easier to do that. But just because it's easy doesn't mean it's the best way. It doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you just because that way may seem to work for somebody else, right? So with that being said, and I said I want to try to keep this short. I'm going to leave you with a prompt because it wouldn't be me if I did not leave you with something to think about. And the prompt that I want to leave you with this evening is, what parts of me don't trust rest yet? What parts of me don't trust rest yet? And I say it one more time. What parts of me don't serve rest yet? Take that with you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and let you go on about your merry way. So from the top, rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. It is a requirement for your quality of life. Um, And this is not just referring to physical rest, is referring to whole body rest, spiritual rest, internal and external rest. All right. If you're constantly going, doing, moving, you're not sitting with the things you need to sit with to clear the way for you to have the things that you want. And I'm not talking about miracles because miracles happen all the time. There are miracles around us constantly. I'm not talking about those circumstances. You know what I'm talking about. All right. And yeah, the more you rest, the more you can hold. So in the comments, let me know how you're going to be resting. Um, Feel free to put it in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, you can shoot me a message. If you would like to join, right like you remember, there is still time. Our first check-in session is tomorrow. Um, and the link is going to be somewhere around this video. And I also want to invite you to come join me for the expo. I'm going to be talking about, I'm participating in the Go Brunch World Builder Expo, and I'm going to be talking about systems for sensual living. All right. It's a short presentation, it's 10 minutes, right? But I'm going to be running the thing back. Throughout the expo, it's a 12-hour situation. But it's gonna be so good. So many people, so many businesses, so much knowledge, and it's 100% free. It is 100% free. Um, so yeah, I'll have the link for that as well. That session is June 10th, and I believe that's Tuesday, June 10th. So feel free to come check me out and learn more about sensual systems, to support the life that you want to build. And if nobody told you today, you are special, you are loved, you are needed, and I'm glad you're still here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.